fired up. Let's have some fun. Oh, I got to get my pen, Tom. Got to get ready because we like to compare and contrast each of these when we do them.
Yeah, we do.
Because we'll do another one. I think we agreed we're going to do another one mid-spring.
Mid-spring. Go with the mid-spring.
Mid-spring.
Right around Masters Week. Isn't that nice? That it's got a good ring to it, right?
Well, I told you I'm drinking out of my Masters cup.
That's you know what? That's why I thought of it that way. You buried that subliminally. I also nailed the pronunciation of subliminally. Not easy.
No, it's not when you're under pressure. Fire away. Let's go.
WWWLs wins.
All right. How you doing?
Losses.
Damn it! We lost! We f***ing super lost, man!
Where do we triumph? Where doth thou fall?
I had to let that kind of ring through there. I thought that was interesting. We haven't listened to that in a while, and
yeah. It's like you're in the fish market in Seattle and a fish smacks you across the face.
I'm nervous. It made me nervous doing W's and L's. I'm afraid of what I might say. All right. The Gumps make their way to Tallahassee. Pissed off as they are with Kalen DeBoer. They don't believe in him. Come August 30th, they'll drive to Tallahassee, Florida. Suspect of this Alabama team. They'll remind themselves that the Noles are coming off a 2-10 campaign, not 9-4. They'll remind themselves of the last 4 years in recruiting rankings. They'll feel better about the matchup, and they'll leave victorious in Tallahassee as the Noles begin the season 0-1, falling to Alabama, adding to the consternation in our beloved capital city. And for Seminoles all across this great land, they shall be nervous after an 0-1 start.
Yeah, L. I agree with you here. We got an L to work with. I think it's one to work with, though, as I say it. That's better. I see what we're going for. We just weren't ready. First game out the gate to put a lot of different pieces together, but I see what Gus is thinking. I see what Tony White's doing. They're playing hard. I feel good about our chances on the road to Virginia and Miami early next month because of what I saw tonight in Game 1. However, it's still an L.
0-1 is Florida State out the gates. Damn it, man. A lot of L's being thrown our way every time we play football, but that won't be the case in Week 2 when lowly East Texas A&M, fresh off a 3-9 FCS campaign, they'll come here for that check and an ass-kicking. The Noles go to 1-1 and skew the rushing statistics for the year by going for a robust 487 on the ground. The Noles are now 1-1.
Oh my God. 487 on the ground.
It's like Coach Cameron's Army team on College Football 25.
Thomas Castellanos, 3 of 5, 27 yards and a touchdown. Florida State, 487 rushing yards.
Right up your...
Whoa. Right up your commerce. I will say, obviously it's a win. Standout of the game, Ousmane Kromah. 12 carries, 107 yards, and 2 touchdowns for the true freshman. 1-1. Win!
Nobody's a buzz as we head to the bye week. We're 1-1. We're where we thought we would be. Kind of assess for a week's worth of Jeff Cameron shows, and then we say, all right, back to the football. September the 20th, another home game here in Tallahassee, and that is a Kent State team that went 0-12 last year. Let them begin this year where they left off last, on the wrong end of an ass-kicking. The Noles, once again, on the ground do it up. Now amongst the nation's leaders in rushing. With a robust 352 yards on the ground, Chroma goes for 200+.
Whoa.
Another 100+ for Castellanos. These are gaudy numbers as the Noles go to 2-1.
And hopefully there is no mold in the new stadium on the alumni side. All right. Yeah, I mean, it's obvious we're going to be agreeing with about a win to go to 2-1. I'm saying they're going to throw the ball over 17.5 times.
Okay.
In this game. You got to get ready to go for a little bit of offensive versatility because this is the real ramp-up. You had this 2-game thing on the other side of the bye. Now it is tune-up, Virginia, and into the Miami week. So 17.5 is the over-under in passes. I say Castellanos throws 21 times. He has 2 touchdowns, 12 completions. Solid day. Florida State rolls 2-1.
Admittedly, those are 2 easy victories, but you can't help yourself because wins and losses happen for a reason, and they elicit emotion, as I'm fond of saying, and for whatever reason, we'll be lying to ourselves after 2 lopsided wins, feeling very good about Florida State football at 2-1. We say, let's go up to Charlottesville and the blinding beauty that is the campus at Virginia. We'll do so on a Friday night because we suck in the ACC, and so does the television slot. Luckily for us, Cavaliers, it's a tough run for the Cavs. They start their season with 6 consecutive games without a bye. Ours will be the 5th of those 6 games. Suck it, Virginia. Noles win big on a Friday night.
Whoa!
Much to the chagrin of the folks at College Game Day, they've got to mention last night's victory.
Define big in terms of spread, not the final score. We're not going to pin you down on that. 17?
Florida State gets it done by a final score of 27-13.
Nope, 14. 14. Well, these days that's a robust win.
Yeah, big win. Big win for the Noles. Defense is flying around hitting folks. I'm coming on the air Monday telling you, I love me some Tony White. Let's go now.
I think one of the things we'll be enjoying on a Friday night, scrumptious as they are turnovers. We'll be enjoying 3 turnovers on a Friday night in Charlottesville. And
turning them over.
Thank heaven for that, because the O-line was all right. But I'm a little bit worried now. Was this a look-ahead spot? What the hell's going on? Is it because we haven't faced real competition in 3 weeks? A little rusty here. A little rusty. Thank goodness Castellanos can run, because that between the tackles thing wasn't so hot. But thanks to the 3 turnovers, this is like the Duke game in 2024 should have gone. We were just ahead the whole way. I don't think it's by a 14-point margin, but I like 24-13. So we're in the same ballpark. Win!
Get it together, Herb Hand. Tom's angry. An extra day of rest. I can't do both. What do you got me doing over here?
No, I was waving the hand.
Oh.
Talk to the hand.
Get it together, Herb Hand. An extra day of rest. The Noles welcome in early October, the way it was in yesteryear, when yours truly in the early 90s stumbled into Doe Campbell Stadium with great fervor and hidden boos. Along with my fellow students screaming loudly in the hopes that the chant would be warranted late in the 4th quarter as Miami had to sit and wear it, both on and off the field. Alas, on this day, we show out well, but fall just short in a loss to Miami. It's a reminder of those heartbreaking games of yesteryear that I just alluded to. Florida State falls 24-21 in a well-played football game.
Oh, that's a tough Monday show.
Move to 3-2. I remind you all, the Noles already have more wins on the season than they had all of last year.
Right. That's your monologue on Monday.
There it is.
I agree with you. It's an Elski. Hate it. I hate it. That's all I got to say about that. 3-2 are the Noles. Pitt's coming to town. I'm sure it'll be packed.
So it's a weird year for Pitt, which got off to an incredible start and went 7-0 last year to little fanfare. Turned out that little fanfare was warranted. They lost 6 straight games to end the year. Grand opening, grand closing indeed. They have home games against Louisville and Boston College immediately before traveling to Tallahassee, and it's not a get-right game anymore, Pitt. Florida State gets the win big and now sits at 4-2 on the short list of teams that people reference as saying, good for them. Looks like they've got it back together again. Noles are 4-2.
Yeah, man, we are mirroring this approach here. I think that's why we can believe it's going to be correct to a T. This is a game.
No doubt.
This is a game where even the most skeptical of us say, "Okay, wait a minute now.
There you go.
I like what they're doing here. This looks competent. Looks like the message is sinking in, and it was a near miss against Miami. But you know what? They put it behind them, showing more maturity than last year's team did. When adversity struck, this group responds. I like it. Castellanos, they rally around him. Florida State gets the win to go 4-2.
And maturity is what it will take to go on the road to Stanford, Palo Alto. And even though Stanford has been anything but impressive under head coach Troy Taylor's guidance, back-to-back 3-9 seasons, in fact, they somehow, in the midst of all of that, beat Syracuse last year as well as Louisville. Cardinal coming off a loss in all likelihood after a road trip to SMU, now hosting Florida State for the first time ever and on the wrong end of what should be indeed a traditional beating. Noles win again. And now we're on to something, gang. Now we're on to something. Noles are 5-2. Let's play some football, baby.
My goodness, because that would be 5-2 at the bye week. So you'd be ruminating on, yes, losing the two most important games on your schedule to this point,
but taking care of business against those that you should take care of business against.
Which we've got to remind ourselves when we get a little antsy that that's all we were looking for. Well, we were looking for more, but that's all we could reasonably be looking for this season was to walk before we could run again. And here we are walking into the bye week at 5-2. I agree. This is Tony White's finest hour in 7 games at Florida State. We say,
Dominance.
Look at that defense.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And they're coming on strong. They're getting better as the weeks go by.
Could have given Stanford 6 quarters, and they were never going to catch us as we dropped 27 on the road at Stanford.
Yeah. Continue to run the ball well, too. Then it's a bye. We come off that bye, and then things return to norm as Wake Forest remembers that they're Wake Forest, lamenting still that Dave Clawson walked away from their shabby organization after another 4-8 campaign. They got nothing for us. Good head coach coming into Wake from Washington State. Too soon, just too soon to come to Tallahassee and get a win like that. Ain't gonna happen. 6-2 Noles. 6-2. All righty.
You know, one of the sidebars that everybody's going to write about. Sometimes in our industry, you know what the story, the feature is. And in this case, it's Luke Pettibon's tears as he's rallying everybody.
Yes.
It's time to exact revenge on the Demon Deacons, the program that turned its back on Dave Clawson, led him to resign. Win it for me today,
okay,
guys, said Luke, as Florida State followed suit. And the game was over after that pregame speech, 6-2.
Jeff and Tom, 6-2 through 8, and now it's a big showdown in the month of November, heading to Clemson, South Carolina. Feeling a little froggy. Maybe you get in the car with your kids and your friends, and you do it up right. You make your way up to Clemson, South Carolina. You head on over to Greenville, where a beautiful downtown awaits. You belly up to that long mahogany bar near the stadium, meaning the baseball stadium, and you think to yourself, this could be a good day. We could be in this thing. But you're mistaken. The Noles on the wrong end of an ass-kicking and find themselves humbled as they are now 6-3 on the season. Clemson, just too much for the Noles as they rebuild back to a time where things can be more respectful and respectable. But 6-3 nonetheless.
Here comes the first shocker in W's and L's for the season. Florida State goes up to Clemson and leads at the half before falling to pieces in the second half. But you know what? It provided us a taste of the improvements that we're looking for. Again, we're not happy to be talking about silver linings in defeat, but we're seeing so much improvement year over year. And a tailgate that had a lot of, I suppose, energy for people that are in the stands at halftime saying, could we really? No. but we're a lot closer than we were. 6-3.
Check on the maturity level of a bunch that now has 3 losses on the year, but kind of ahead of where a lot of people thought they'd be. They get to come home on the 15th of November. Brent Pry needs a good season at Virginia Tech. They're 16-21. He had to fire, as did Mike Norvell, several assistant coaches and coordinators. This is an important campaign for Va Tech, just like it's an important campaign for Mike Norvell and FSU. But this one's at home, and a fan base that will not let Florida State fall. They find a way in one of the better games of the year. Florida State 31, Virginia Tech 28.
Wow.
Big win for the Noles. They move to 7-3.
They find a way on senior day. Because this is closing down the opening season of the new refurbished Doak Campbell. Hopefully by that point, all of the hospitality stuff is working. The Wi-Fi is in good shape. They need a few games.
Long before now.
They
It
need
better
a few
be working.
games to figure it out. But we really hit a groove there for that Virginia Tech game. This is another one where we say Tony White's defense is suited to stop mobile quarterbacks.
Okay.
Wow, what
I
a
like
sight to see.
Let's go.
We roll. We roll on to 7-3.
7-3. All right. Everybody realizes what's next. Got to buckle up. On the road to Raleigh. We've been on the wrong end of many a result there, a many disappointing end too many times, piss bombs and the like. This one's no different. Florida State can't handle it. They lose a heartbreaking affair, 20-16.
Wow.
It's a hard-fought game. A lot of hitting going on at Carter Finley Stadium. Florida State comes up just short.
That is a
7-4.
very roadie at NC State final scores, 20-16. That is extremely appropriate. I cannot better you with that in the score prediction. But what I can tell you is we're going to win the football game.
Oh, buddy.
We're winning this football game.
All righty.
We're going to be so damn proud. That post-game show,
Puff your chest out.
we're going to get loose on a Friday night on Warchant TV.
Woohoo.
Florida State handles business. It's a rocking chair fourth quarter
Oh,
against NC
my.
State.
Oh, my.
There you go. 8-3 are the Noles.
Forget about it. And we round the season out with a loss down in Florida. That'd be Gainesville, Hogtown. Good quarterback, physical bunch, moving in the right direction. They beat Florida State again. Adds to the frustration, but you'll take 7-5 after 2-10. Meets the minimum standard, and you say, okay.
C's get degrees.
C's get degrees, and let's go to a bowl game and get a little bit better, boys. Let's go to that bowl game and get a little bit better. Noles finished the regular season campaign at 7-5.
We'll see if we actually play that bowl game. Rumors that Southern Miss doesn't have enough players on their roster. A lot of transfers. Boy, this would be nice to get to 9-3. Could you imagine being 9-3 after 2-10?
No, I have them at 7-5.
Yeah, I can imagine it, but I don't see it happening. Unfortunately, every time Florida gets into 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2, they do nothing fancy. They just run it right up the middle. And unfortunately, we are not equal to the task. So 3rd down conversions doom us. It's a close game. It's well fought. You can see where we're going. We understand where we're going. But we're going 8-4. We're losing that game.
Tom finishes the first W's and L's at 8-4. I go 7-5. Signifying nothing of any importance, you have our W's and L's for January. 7-5 for me, 8-4 for Tom.